Hey, everybody. Happy Thursday night. Hope everyone's doing well tonight. It's kind of random. I'm going to keep those tunes going faintly in the background tonight. Hey, I had a little pocket of time tonight, and I'm not going to be able to do a live show tomorrow, although we will still have a Friday Night Live. I will hopefully be there in the chat. I will be I'll be on an airplane on my way to Phoenix, but I hope to be there with you as we roll Friday Night Live, which I just recorded to play for you all tomorrow. How y'all doing tonight? Sue, what's up, man? How you doing tonight? Sue, my OGest of all the Mounjarians. Eliza Smith, howdy. Cold in Texas, cold in Iowa too. Man, we got a lot of snow up here today. It was all going away, and now it's all back with a vengeance. Thank you for joining. This is one of those impromptu live streams. You know, if you follow this channel, that I do these from time to time. I like to surprise people, keep them on their toes. And it's Thursday night. And I realized when I recorded Friday Night Live without you all there in the chat that I get a lot of energy from you all in the chat. Brent, welcome, man. Thanks for joining. T Royal, what's up? Thanks for joining. So, yeah, we just decided to do a stream tonight, and go live with some of the subscribers because, you know, darn it, I'm just gonna miss y'all tomorrow. I hope, like I said, I hope I'll be able to catch y'all in the chat, but sometimes the Wi-Fi in the planes aren't super reliable, so we'll see how that goes. Yeah, how's everybody going? Or how's everybody doing? This is an interesting week. I've put out a couple of videos. There's been a lot of like really obnoxious articles that have come out. A lot of really obnoxious people saying really obnoxious things and uninformed things about GLP-1s, especially as it relates to them being used for weight loss. You know, I've had an interesting week with Mounjaro. I'll just kind of give you all kind of an update on how my week's been. I've been kind of stalled out at the same weight for now, probably a good 10 days or so. Kind of frustrating to be stalled out and not losing, but I think I figured out why. So I've got type 2 diabetes. For those of you who are tuning in that don't know, I'm a type 2 diabetic, so I'm on Mounjaro not only to lose weight, but I'm on it to control my type 2 diabetes. And yeah, I've had really bad luck with the Freestyle Libre 3 sensors. So the old sensors were about the size of a $50, and the new ones are like maybe just a little bit bigger than a nickel, and they don't stick on as well. And I had two fall off, and they're like, with my insurance, it's still like $75 a month, so I didn't want to refill it. So for the last 10 days or so, I haven't had my CGM keeping me honest about how many carbohydrates I'm eating. And I really think that has probably led me to run higher sugars by way of just being more lax with the carbs, because when I see the CGM numbers and they go up, then I watch what I eat, right? I don't like them up. I don't like to see that number high on that CGM. So I kind of eat to my meter, right? If my meter's low, then I give myself some more carbohydrates. And if it's not low, then I really have to watch it. Hey, we got some more joiners tonight. Mrs. Bell, hi from your hospital room. I didn't realize, Mrs. Bell, that you were in the hospital. I'm sorry to hear that. Prayers to you, my friend. T Royal's having problems getting the 7.5 filled using the old coupon. Interesting. So it's funny that you mentioned that, T, because I touch on that in the Friday Night Live that I'm airing tomorrow. Some other people have said that they've had some issues lately where they've gone in with their tier 1 coupon. I assume that's what you're talking about, is you have a tier 1 card, T Royal, meaning it was before November 10th, I think it was, that you got it. The deal is this. I think some pharmacies are requiring that prior authorization on all of the Mounjaro scripts now. And so what I've heard from people, T, is that you got to take it to a different pharmacy. And that's really working for most people. Deliza just picked up 10 milligram today for $25. Good for you. That's awesome. I always love to hear good experiences. Mrs. Bell's got some numbness within the legs. Weird, but you're there. Yeah, well, prayers for quick healing and quick answers, and that they're easy answers to you. Hey, I want to take a second to special shout out. We've got a lot of new members on the channel that have become members. So I appreciate you. I think actually the Patrice Denise became a member today. Patrice is going to be on an interview with me on tomorrow's Friday Night Live. So I hope you all join for that. Emily said you're absolutely correct. Prescriber, 90% rejection of tier 1 in the DMV. I don't know what DMV is, but Vanessa, you were able to get your 5 and 7.5, but it's such a hassle to have to hunt down the medication at different pharmacies. Yeah, it really feels like a real pain. It shouldn't be. You know, I was going off the other night on a bit of a tangent. I couldn't sleep, and I read a stupid article from Axios. I did a video on it where I was tired. It was the middle of the night, and I was just ranting because I was so furious about it. But the title of that article was something like, the new weight loss medicines are causing supply chain issues and accessibility issues. And those are true statements. But I really think the accessibility and the supply stuff kind of goes hand in hand for the most part. I mean, obviously the cost of the medication and the accessibility in that regard is a separate topic, but yeah, I mean, they're really hard to find right now. And we really have to be hunting to find the dosages that we need. It's very frustrating. DC, Virginia, and Maryland. Okay. You know, Emily clarified what she meant by DMV. So, like, I live in Iowa, so when I hear DM anything, it's Des Moines. So I didn't know if maybe you were also an Iowa person. I refer my patients to your channel. Oh, hey, that's great, Emily. Maybe sometime you'd like to come on the stream yourself and chat with me. I would love to have you. And I definitely appreciate you sending people my way. I will try to do right by you're doing that. I try to make sure that I'm researching the information that I share. It's not to say that I don't slip up and say a wrong thing here or there, especially on these lives. It's easy to misspeak or something. I'll go back and watch them and I'm like, hey, I didn't mean to say that. But I appreciate you sending people my way, Emily. And people are really having to advocate for themselves right now to get the medicine that they want. Sue, they're mailing me my 15 on Monday. First time trying that dose. Good luck to you, buddy. I think you're going up from 12.5. I don't think you'll really feel a whole lot of a difference, to be honest with you. Brent got a 12.5 the same day the script was sent into HEB. For those of you who don't know, HEB is huge in Texas and probably other southern states. We've never heard of HEB up here in Iowa. We've got Hy-Vee, which you probably never heard of. I've been doing my 10 milligram via 2 5 milligram pens, and it's working, but honestly, it feels a bit different than just one injection. Yeah. Are you giving yourselves, like, when you do 2 injections of 5 milligrams to make 10, are you doing them in the same spot? Or are you doing like one in the arm and one in the thigh? I'm curious. Emily said, you're honest and information forward, but advocate for people with various conditions. I appreciate that. I really do, Emily, try to go out of my way to not focus solely on the diabetes aspect, which is a big part of my journey. But, you know, obesity often goes hand in hand with metabolic disorder. Metabolic disorder leads to can often lead to type 2 diabetes. And I always say, you know, I wish I would have had the opportunity to have some sort of medical intervention prior to being in the state that I'm in as the type 2 diabetic. And so I advocate for doctors and patients working together. You are the best. You are the most knowledgeable in you, and doctors are the most knowledgeable in medicine. And together you should be working together to to find the right path of treatment for whatever condition that you have. So I appreciate that you acknowledge that, Emily, and I'm so thankful that you're here and that you shared that with me tonight. And thank you for sending your patients this way. I would love to converse with you more at some point. Yeah, I think she had said, Sue, that 90% aren't working. Yeah, I'd like some clarity on that too. I'm curious what she meant. Brett said, I've tried both ways, no noticeable difference. Yeah, I don't notice much of a difference at all, either in injection site, Brent. I think the biggest thing is if I stick to an area like the arm, the stomach, or the thighs for like a couple weeks at a time, I feel like my body does like me to mix it up and just go to a different extremity. I don't know if there's anything to that, but really, I think, the idea with injection sites, it's all about the bioavailability of the drug. So where there's more fat for the medication to distribute in, it's going to be a slower release of the medicine over time. So perhaps where you have the most fat under that layer of skin is probably going to be where you're going to get the most even absorption over that week's period. And so I would argue that you might have fewer side effects in the fattier areas. And then where there's less fat, you might get more side effects because you're getting maybe more of it absorbed faster. That's my theory anyway. Yeah, so Vanessa swapped to Sam's, and I think you had really good success, Vanessa, right? Didn't you say that they filled it right away? Vanessa also said, wait until the day I'm on one day and you tell my experience getting Mounjaro at Walgreens, your jaw will drop. Yeah, Vanessa, send me an email, mounjaroman@gmail.com. Shoot me an email there, and we can kind of start the conversation there. And for anybody who is interested on being on the stream, I've got kind of a line of people here that would like to get on, and I am really enjoying doing it and getting to meet people. So absolutely. So yeah, Friday Night Lives. Put it in the chat if you have been to a Friday Night Live, if you've enjoyed them. I'm really excited to have the Patrice Denise on tomorrow. She's so delightful, guys. If you have not checked out her channel, be sure you get over and check out the Patrice Denise. Emily said, correct, in this area, Harris Teeter, Walgreens, Capsule, Safeway are all requiring prior authorization approval before filling tier 1 coupons. Yeah, okay, yeah, Emily was just validating what I was saying at the jump. Yeah, it's and honestly, I mean, I'm not, it sucks. Like, let me say that straight off. It sucks that pharmacies are doing that, but you kind of understand why they are, right? It's probably just easier for them as a policy because they're so large to make sure that all their bases are covered on those coupons. We've been so confused on them, and so have they. Tracy, you love Friday Night Lives. I am so thankful, Tracy, for you. You were you had just joined and became a member of the channel this week. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I love having you there. So yeah, I think a lot of those bigger pharmacies are just saying, we don't care if you have the tier, and they might even not acknowledge that there's different tiers of the cards because they just might not know. But they're just requiring the prior authorization because they want to make sure that they get reimbursed from Lilly. It's an expensive drug, and if they have a bunch of them that they fill and they don't get reimbursed, that's a big hit to their pharmacy. Vanessa loves Friday Night Live, and we need a theme song for it. I know. So I just commented on one of Mindy Peterson's videos tonight, and we're on a journey. I won't do that again, I promise. Sorry, I should have warned you. Yeah, it's stuck in my head every time I hear that, and I'm like, I need a catchy song that sticks in everybody's head that I don't sing. I agree. Yeah, there was some of the shorts that I was doing that I was playing Man on the Moon by R.E.M. I don't necessarily love that song, but Man on the Mounjaro. So. Emily said Harris Teeter requires an ICD-11 code, a la DM2. Yeah, type 2 diabetes. It won't even let the tech pass if it's not a type 2 diagnosis code. And I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure that there's also all sorts of pharmacies that are adopting different approaches towards the card because there was just so much darn confusion with the thing. Sue, what is the best part of FNL? I'm curious. So yeah, we're about 15 minutes into this impromptu live stream. Wondering if we've all remembered to hit that like, hit that bell, and hit that sub. Some people were asking this past week about how you become a member of the channel. So first of all, membership on this channel means that you basically get early access to some of the videos that I post. I try to post them, so you get to watch them before everybody else gets to watch them. I do a lot of my personal journey, so my own weight loss stuff, before and after pictures, and I plan to continue to post even more kind of like personal Dave Knapp stuff behind there that I haven't shared on the front side, just because it's more, I feel more comfortable sharing it there. Custom emojis, you can see the little signs next to people's name, the little logos. So there's some, it's $2.99 a month. It's not much, but if I can build up a nice little subscriber base I shouldn't say subscriber, member base, that helps cover some of the costs of this thing. Like even just the StreamYard here that I use to stream this is like $50 a month, and all the little things I use to edit, it all adds up to probably about $100 a month. So I'd like to be at least breaking even. That would be nice. Sue just sent one of the emojis. So, what did Eliza say? Oh yeah, we're talking medical diagnosis codes. Yeah, I am curious. I'm curious for when tirzepatide is going to be approved. I'm hoping that the weight loss approval happens here earlier in the summer rather than later. But man, I feel so bad. I was talking on the Friday Night Live recording about, it's not even, there's so many people who are losing Mounjaro who aren't just taking it for weight loss. They're taking it for PCOS, or they're taking it as a prophylactic against becoming diabetic because they're type 2 or they're pre-diabetic. They're insulin resistant. Hey, Emily, while you're on here, if you wouldn't mind, one of the things that I was discussing, not to totally tip the hand, but I was discussing with the Patrice Denise, we are both type 2 diabetic. And I was telling her there is a test that you can do to see if you're insulin resistant, because my hypothesis is that people who are insulin resistant lose weight slower, but I especially hear about it, more now that there's people on Mounjaro and they're losing slower than others. Not slow in the normal sense, but just slower than others. And my hypothesis is that if you're very insulin resistant, that you're going to be a slower loser. Now, a lot of people say, well, I'm not type 2 diabetic. So, well, what people don't understand is that there's plenty of people out there who are not type 2 diabetic, or even considered pre-diabetic by their A1C, but they don't realize that their body's cranking out a ton of insulin to keep their sugar low. And so over time, that insulin resistance causes, type 2 diabetes, or contributes to the development of type 2 diabetes. So Emily, my question for you, is that called the HOMA IR score, that you can test the amount of insulin in your blood? I know that there's a test for it to test the levels of insulin that will tell you if you're cranking it out. Because if you're cranking it out, I'd say, even if you're not pre-diabetic, you're probably pre-diabetic. It's only a matter of time. And so I think there's a lot of people walking around with insulin resistance that are completely unaware because their A1C is good, but that doesn't mean that you don't have some metabolic issues going on, which I think is a big contributor to the ability to not lose weight. It's my understanding, again, I'm not a doctor, but my understanding is it's very difficult to lose weight with high levels of insulin in the blood, because insulin by nature is like packing things away. It's not allowing your body to release when you're cranking out a bunch of insulin. Yeah, I was just curious if you had thoughts on that, Emily. But yeah, you said, I think you can say that is proven. I think we're referring to the weight loss, lower weight loss. Yeah. It's just something I didn't realize. I was diagnosed type 2 in 2021 and went on keto for almost a year. Very religious about it. And I really was able to control my blood glucose, but I was not able to control my weight at all. I mean, I dropped maybe 10 pounds in that time. Delisa said, am I saying that right? Delisa? If you want to spell it phonetically, if I'm butchering it, then I promise I won't butcher it anymore. But Delisa said fasting plasma glucose test and insulin sensitivity test. Yeah. Okay. I know I had it, and I know my doctor was like, whoa, you got to stop eating carbs, which is interesting because I don't even eat that many carbs in my diet. But Emily said I push my type 2 diabetes patients up to 10 milligram much faster than my non-diabetic patients. Yeah. And that to me makes sense. You know, I and my doctor discussed, you know, I want the most therapeutic value out of it. So I got up to the 15. There's a lot of people with differing opinions, even in amongst the YouTube channels that are on here, about, you know, stay at the lowest possible dose. But what people don't understand is, like, most of the people that have channels on YouTube that talk about Mounjaro aren't type 2 diabetic. It's kind of a different ballgame for us. Delisa. Okay, sorry about that, Delisa. I got the Smith down, though. Delisa Smith. I didn't need help with that. Vanessa said, yes, I think insulin has something to do with it. If you compare the weight loss from type 2 diabetes and non-diabetic, it's shocking. And non-diabetics, everyone is different, lost 40 pounds in 2 to 3 months. Yeah, I mean, it is shocking. I mean, it's hard not to compare. Melissa H on the Discord's always saying comparison's the thief of joy, and it's not that I compare or am frustrated by it. I just notice it, right? Which isn't all that surprising because, again, trying so hard to lose weight as a type 2 diabetic patient, I was already well aware that something was wrong. Or a GGT test, says Lisa. So yeah. I hope that you guys have enjoyed this little impromptu chat. I so appreciate those of you who have become subscribers recently, those of you who have become members, especially. The easiest way to get back to the channel is just to like this stream here, and your comments help as well. Ellen says, I vomit after 5 milligrams. Would you move up? Ellen, I would definitely talk to your doctor, especially if you're vomiting a lot after just 5 milligrams. That's not very much. It's not a very high dosage, and vomiting can definitely indicate some other issues. It's vomiting, if you're doing it a lot, is not something I would make my doctor aware of it, just so you can check it out. Emily said, it's also why your advocacy is important for non-diabetics. We're all in this together. 100%. 100%. Yep, absolutely. Elisa said, type 2 diabetes for 20 plus years, insulin on 3 years, lower on MJ, stuck at 16 pounds. Yeah, I mean, so another obvious thing, you know, when we talk about it being difficult to lose weight on as a type 2 diabetic because you're cranking out so much insulin, it's like, that's what they do. I mean, that's what they've done for the last however many years, 30, 40 years, however long they've been giving diabetics insulin, is that when you go on that insulin, what happens immediately? Those of you who have taken insulin, gone on insulin, what happens is, you know, within a couple of weeks of starting to take it, your weight goes up. So there's your sign. Jillian, so what about a pen that malfunctioned? So it's funny, Jillian, that you said that because I gave myself an injection tonight before I came on the stream, and I noticed a lot of the liquid was on my skin, and I never noticed that before. It's almost as if the plunger came up too quick. And so I went to contact Eli Lilly, and like their offices were closed, or you have to call during business hours, which is such a pain. But I do plan on calling them, and I'm sure that they'll send something. I mean, geez, it's like a $250 pen. So, Vanessa, it sounds like you have experience. You said call Eli Lilly and they'll send you a box. Yeah. Hopefully, because I want one, because I know I didn't get the whole dose. I want my liquid gold. Anybody who's in the chat, or anybody who's watching right now that hasn't contributed to the chat, just say hi. I'd like to know that you're here. I like to see these names. There's some new names that I've seen tonight. Ellen, I think your name is a new one to me. Delisa, I'm not sure if I've seen your name before. I think I would have remembered mispronouncing it before. So welcome if this is your first time here. But I just did want to say again to Ellen, if you're vomiting after 5 milligrams, I wouldn't move up, and I'd talk to your doctor just to make sure. Sandra, welcome. I'm not going to take a stab at that last name, but if you want to spell it phonetically. Not type 2 diabetic, Lost about 24 pounds in 4 months on MJ. That's excellent. That's excellent. Good for you. Jillian said that Eli Lilly will call your pharmacy, but if you don't have the 2, then they will direct. I'm not following with that. Vanessa said it was a pain to call, but it worked. Okay, 3-hour hold. Yeah, I've called Vanessa. I've called the Mounjaro number before to get just some information for videos that I'm doing or questions that I had. Like I thought maybe the mail order stuff that I got in the mail was frozen, and it was thawed by the time I got it. But like, how do I know it wasn't frozen? And I waited forever to talk to somebody. It was super annoying. Let's see. Having an Ozempic pen malfunction would suck. There's something, Sue, about the Ozempic pen that would be extra sucky or something. Make sure to give them the numbers on the box of your prescription. Yeah, I'd hold on to the pen. I've got mine right here from earlier. Had the same thought. Jillian's going to stretch out the pens, Mounjaro pens. Awesome. It's enough trouble filling it. Yeah, I mean, for crying out loud, they ought to replace it. I don't know why they wouldn't. So, we are 26 minutes into the stream. I appreciate each and every one of you for joining the chat tonight. If anybody else has any questions, now is the time to put them in the chat before we wrap this up. I'll probably wrap it up at about 30 minutes. But I hope that you're all doing well tonight. I appreciate each and every one of you who has come along on this journey. I say this often, but you are the best part of this channel. I missed you all. I mean, that's what it comes down to. Not being able to do the Friday Night Live. Like I said at the jump of this stream, is like I realized how much fun I have on Friday Night Live because you're there. So recording it by myself was kind of like, ugh. So I hope it doesn't come off that way tomorrow, because it's actually a really exciting show with the Patrice Denise. Put it in the chat. If you're in the chat right now and you follow the Patrice Denise, let me know. She's got a great channel. I do see a lot of my fellow Man on the Mounjaro followers over there too. But if you like the Patrice Denise, let everybody in the chat know how awesome she is, and to go over there and give her a sub. She was such a delight to meet. I mean, as have been everybody that I've met on this journey. I organized my playlist this week so that when you go back to my main page on my channel, you're going to see a playlist for like every big topic that I do on Mounjaro, whether it's like other GLP-1 medications, whether it is the wrap-ups that I do of the Eli Lilly conference calls and press releases, whether it is the interviews, or better yet, the Friday Night Lives. So all my Friday Night Lives are in one spot now. You can go back and watch from the first one to the most recent, which is kind of fun. Stu said Eli Lilly can't win, either shortages or malfunctioning pens. So tough situation to be in. Yeah, for sure. Vanessa follows the Patrice Denise, and she is just a gem. I just love those Southern people. I love people from the South. I could definitely see myself living in the South someday. Yeah. So, well, I appreciate you all joining tonight. We got a nice little number of people joining on to the stream tonight, and I appreciate each and every one of you. If you haven't, and you could do me the favor of just liking, commenting, and if you're not a subscriber, join us. Become a part of this community. I've got my playlist all set up, and I hope that makes it easier. Like if you see people in like these Facebook groups that are saying, I got to switch from Mounjaro to Wegovy, what should I do? Share them the playlist of the GLP-1s. I got tons of videos on that are super helpful for those kinds of people. I've got, all the latest coupon news. If people have coupon questions, pretty much covered every topic there is to on that. So I appreciate each and every one of you for being fans and supporters of this channel. I hope that you all have a great night. Friday Night Live tomorrow, the video streams at 9 p.m. Central. I hope that you all join. I hope to be there in the chat with you all. And without further ado, I'll say thank you and good night to each and every one of you. Thanks so much for joining tonight.